afternoon. I just want to do a quick little report. It's kind of on the portable, informal, like any of my streams or movies have been top notch, major, professional, polished, anything. So it's real. Hey, I'm just one person, and that's all it takes. But this issue is very important. But I have been looking out on the news feeds, and I'm just so disappointed on a few different levels in everybody except the Republicans in the Senate. I'm totally proud that you are also recognizing the importance of your position and know why you're doing what you're doing. So I just wanted to add in my little 2 cents to give you some encouragement and support, and maybe to point out the error in the way that it's being spun, and that the way that it's being spun actually validates the position in the first place. But that's the point in a society these days. We've got everything a little bit backwards, so we're not seeing the forest for the trees. So let's see where we're going to start here. Okay, first of all, let's say that the comments that the Senate is not doing their job when they've completed the job. They've exercised their choice, and that's the choice they made. And the choice is no, we're waiting for the next president to do that process. And okay, if I'm wrong, which I'm not, but how can I be wrong? Because if we're going to say that the only reason we find ourselves in this position is that the death of Anthony Scalia has left the Supreme Court empty a seat. Well, his death was questionable, and I'm not the only one saying it, but I know how to see the forest very quickly through the trees, and I would rather err on the side of caution than act hastily and then have to have a decision made in regret that is long term. The appointment and confirmation and a seat on the Supreme Court is for a while. So let's keep that in mind. I mean, that is also a sign of not walking in the Word, because it's not a quality of Christ to be hasty. God, I don't know if it's actually one, but I've always heard it. Patience is a virtue, saith the Lord. Here's another angle. The fact that there's no mutual respect. If there was not a motive behind the pressing by the White House to keep this going, then he would say, well, if I have a executive power in which that the other 2 branches do not have, and I exercise that power and make a decision, and then they have their particular power, they exercise that as given by the Constitution, and then that decision they make may not agree with mine, or vice versa, but then there's some mutual respect, because that's how the founding fathers set the balance of powers in place. So just by the nature that there's no respect for the Senate's decision shows to me, as it should show others, well, what's really going on then? What's the real reason that you're pushing this through? Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's because he's got an ulterior motive. And the ulterior motive may be the very reason why Justice Scalia is no longer breathing and is 6 feet under. And I don't find that at all an issue to be so lightly, or just not even discussed. I didn't see any report. Maybe they mentioned that the fact that there's an empty seat, but they didn't present that as a reason to even, it's just respect. And the fact that I'm going to talk about it when we know there's evidence, and it's very fishy that Justice Scalia heard a case and made and wrote up the decision, which was against Obama's. In a way, he's abusing power because he's trying to legislate from the executive branch. Because if he can't get what he wants through them, he's trying to do it by executive order, and it's a stretch too, because he's really taken a leap to have a environmental case law or something. I don't have all the specifics used as a basis for retroactively forcing our current energy businesses of energy to have to basically shift into green energy, clean energy, without it being done through the proper process, which means an actual law that they have to abide by. So that's another reason. Here, and then you've got the Democrats, you've got Hillary Clinton, you've got Biden, being very hypocritical. Because I guarantee you, if the shoe were on the other foot, they'd be doing the same thing. And they'd be calling it politics too. And I don't care if you call it politics or we're just, not feeling like nominating anybody right now. It doesn't matter. It's there for a reason. That's how the cookie crumbles. And Mrs. Clinton, God forbid, and I hope that never happens. I'm sorry, no offense. But you would be very, very, very happy exercising your little branch of power. Another example is that the concept isn't even presented to the American people in it, as on the face. It's simply checks and balances. That's all it is. It's not politics. What's the politics? Is that you guys are just not even respecting their exercising of their power. You're the one putting politics in it. And then on top of it, you have people spinning it so far as to, there's not even a precedent. This is something completely different. You know why this is completely different? Just here, let's just be honest. Obama is dangerous, so dangerous to the destruction of this country as we know it, and the possibility that our children and children not even born yet will never even have the opportunity to know this process that we're so busy spinning and not correctly thinking. We're not even using our adult free thinking. Do we even have a free thinking mind anymore to just see things as they are? Are we that gullible? Are we that blind and scared to stand up or make a decision if we haven't put our finger to the wind to see how many people, this is sad. I am so glad that if you call it my grandma, I guess she was the one most adamant about it. I would have no problem, even if it even if it didn't win or it go my way. But I have no problem if I'm just the only person in the room to stand up and make a decision if it's right. And there's not anybody that can spin it or manipulate me into feeling that I have to compromise my integrity, my intelligence, or kowtow or be scared that someone might not like me in order to make a good decision. In fact, that's the type of leaders that I would want doing this job, because the government, hello, Mr. Obama, you are supposed to be there for the people, and you're not even, it's not even phasing you. It is so about you and not about anything else. I was gonna try to be, as graceful as I could, and I can't help it. My passion and emotions are definitely in the appropriate place. But even precedence, which is by definition a law, a legal decision or form of proceeding serving as an authoritative rule or pattern in future or similar cases. It's not in the Constitution that they're required to follow precedents. So that's just manipulative. That's just trying to take a bunch of spaghetti noodles and throw them at the wall and seeing which one sticks. And two, that that the fact that there's disagreement in the three branches of government, that we the showdown fight. It's not a fight from the Senate. It's a fight from the White House. If there was not an ulterior motive, if it wasn't all about Obama, he would have, said, okay, well, no skin off my nose, and good day, and on to something else to do or not do. How about not doing things? And then so I'm kind of going around, and then I go, oh well, here's the kicker, because we don't even talk about the environmental energy issues that are behind this. No, they gotta throw in it is that this contraceptive coverage under Obamacare, that religious schools or employers or something do not want to have to provide that type of coverage, because they don't. It's not with in alliance to their faith, and they're running a faith type organization. You've got all these bratty college students, and they're so lost in their logic and common sense, and that these, that the press and journalism would cater to that, and that's just pathetic. Have I covered everything? What was I going to say? Oh, and then the last thing was I had to see a couple of stories about the climate change thing where I'm being made fun of, like I'm a crackpot, and definitely not the case. And I'm sorry that I haven't had the opportunity to present a full-rounded news story, because I would, when I'm constantly sabotaged, hacked into. I just looked at a file folder today in which I had a lot of things that I was organizing and trying to get in a fashion to where I could more streamline my little Radio Dawn Day stuff, just like everybody else does. And all those files are gone. Oh, well, they're there, but they're white paper. But I was a little offended that these legislative members, and it's only in the state legislature somewhere over the rainbow, I guess, that they were, laughing it up a bit. There's no such thing as climate change. She's crazy, everybody. Well, you know what? The fact that they do that is because I'm right. They didn't present any, unrefutable, rock solid evidence to instead today. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get all mine together. There's so much of it out there on so much of it other, and I have so much more that comes in every day, and I'm dealing with a lot of very profound cosmic issues that most people, if they had a fraction of the responsibility, would would buckle in a heartbeat. They'd run. They couldn't handle it. But then I'm being disrespected and called a crackpot, and now I'm right, because the story continues in the natural direction which justifies the concern in the first place. If there was nothing to this, then this story wouldn't be happening. So that's it for now. I feel better because I get a little riled up when I just get really riled up when I see people that are getting a paycheck to do this very thing, and they don't put any thought or they don't even give the benefit of the doubt, or maybe look it up or read something, or because they'd rather spin what is politically correct and look cool and screw the whole country as a whole, ruin their whole darn future. That it's bizarre in my mind. So that's it. That's how I got the name the One Woman Riot, because I will not stand by idly and let just stupidity go by unchecked when it's at a moment where if the stupidity succeeds, everybody loses. Wake up, America, and wake up, mainstream press. You're about to go to the pasture, like extinct.